In the last 24 hours, this video has been trending, where it was alleged or being alleged that a certain community in the northern part of Nigeria were seen hailing, screaming and shouting, hailing bandits as bandits were driving through that very, community. And eventually, those alleged bandits were later seen buying phones and making, some other purchases, while the residents who were hailing them were seen at that point snapping pictures with them, making photos and making videos, hailing them. This has actually compelled many Nigerians to begin to ask, is this actually the reality of the insecurity system we currently have in Nigeria? Is this how we are going to continue to live going further in this country, such that the community is now hailing bandits, and criminals publicly? Well, we're gonna watch the video.
Kuna da ɗaya daga cikin mutanen da muka samu zaman lafiya a cikin karamar hukumar Ankara. Karamar hukumar Ankara. Wani hoto ne wani a cikin.
Well, whether you like it or not, the video you just watched, if at the end of the day, it is further verified to be 100% truth, is a typical example of what it means to live in a dysfunctional society. In a dysfunctional society, a society where law and order has collapsed entirely, a society where the people have lost all atom of hopes and trust on government, because at this material time they have already sold their trust on government to provide them with security of lives and properties. And one of the compelling situations we have seen over time in history, in the human endeavor, because human being is a wise animal that responds to both internal and external stimuli. When it gets to this level, people will simply activate their survival strategy. In most cases, all these people you see hailing the bandit are not doing it because they love the bandit so much. They are doing it out of desperation for the singular reason that they have activated their survival strategy mode. So they need to survive. So the only thing they could have done, or they will do, or they could do, is to align with the bandit, professing endorsement to them publicly in order to receive, protection from the bandits, since the Nigerian security forces or security agencies can no longer grant them or provide them with security of lives and property. So they will shift their allegiance to the bandit and the criminals in order to receive protection, so that they will no longer terrorize them. But guess what? A bandit will always be a bandit. In return, this is why you have had over time in Nigeria that bandits were collecting taxes from some residents in Nigeria. I think one time it was said to be happening in Kaduna, where the residents are being taxed daily or weekly or monthly. Farmers were being asked to pay money before they can go back to their farms. That is a typical definition, or representation of the type of video you just saw now. In other hands, it may also mean that this community, that they are happily in alliance with the bandits, that they love what they are doing, not that they are doing it out of desperation or out of fear of survival and all of that. It could mean that they understand that these bandits are causing mayhem to Nigeria and Nigerians at large, possibly not in their community but to other communities. And they love what they do. They provide them with their endorsement, give them their support. That could also be the situation, for the residents you saw in that video. And if that becomes the case, partly or 100%, then it is worth listening to Baba Ahmed Dati, what he said some time ago about APC government being the body behind the insecurity in Nigeria, that insecurity is part of their political machination or part of their political strategy. Make on listen to Baba Ahmed Dati.
Brought into Nigeria pre-2015 election. These are even small ones. Do you remember? Now, what I'm about to say and my arguments are that insecurity is part of APC. Insecurity has been APC's way of getting power. Insecurity has been part of APC's way of staying in power.
Is that fact or just your opinion?
That is my candid, firm opinion that is being strengthened by the kind of unfortunate comments like that of Nasiru.
So
2 days ago.
But there are no facts to what you're saying. There are no facts to what you're saying.
There are facts.
If there are opinions, how would you say a government of the day is part of their life or living is insecurity?
That I'm giving you the facts. Now I have clearly given you 3 statements of politicians, government functionaries that are undisputed. I have given you this. Go back in time. Do you remember that a former Nigerian president was attacked by terrorists? Unprecedented, never in the history of Nigeria did that happen. Do you also remember that I made a passing statement on that in 2022, which, as usual, people didn't take seriously? Why did some young men in the forest in the northeast, what business do they have? When Nigerian leaders leave, they are liked, they are loved, they are forgiven all their errors and everything. This one, they followed and tried to kill him. Why did that happen? What happened in all the donations leading up to 2015? Why decide to come back and run in 2015 after crying and telling the whole world you're no longer contested? What was the link with North Africa? What was the link with Muammar Gaddafi? He's not alive, but others are alive. If Buhari did not become president in 2015, I contested alongside Buhari for Senate. I contested for Senate in 2011. You have it on YouTube. He said, soaked in blood, the baboon and the... Ever since he made that comment, I refused to go and campaign with Buhari. Refused completely. It didn't matter if I lost the Senate seat. I won it eventually. Insecure for a former president to say, you soak in blood. And then there was, Kaduna is my state. There was serious violence in Kaduna. Many houses were burnt. Emir's houses in Ongwansarki, Demna Abba had their houses burnt and all that, simply because of a statement. They went and brought in people from those neighboring places in readiness to remove Jonathan by all means. So the desperation of people to get Jonathan out of power has built up and added to what we call insecurity in Nigeria today.
So you're inferring that all what we have seen over the last few years...
Well, at this point, it is worth saying the obvious. Whether APC is behind the insecurity in Nigeria or not, the reality is that we have a very big problem in Nigeria, and that problem is the problem of insecurity, which is dated back since 2011. And if you begin to look at the trajectory of events, and from what Baba Ahmed Dati said in that video, looking at what Buhari said many years ago, that heads was going to roll, that the blood of monkeys and baboons will flow if they do not win election. That is the same APC government. And even before the 2015 election, this very criminality, insecurity, Boko boys had already started in 2011. So if you begin to look at it, positively or negatively, there will be, or there are some elements of, or some substance of truth from what Baba Ahmed Dati said here. He's not the first person to say this. A lot of people have come out to say that. So there are possibilities that, yes, this could have been part of the strategy, which has been blown out of proportion. Because one thing that is very certain in our society is that The moment you take arms and ammunition and give it to civilians and tell them to use this arm to protect themselves or to do this or to do some dangerous jobs, at the end of the day, if you have given out 200 arms and ammunition, you will end up not getting back up to 5 when the job is completed. The rest will become history in the hands of those you hired, and criminality will continue. Because the fact remains that you cannot continue to meet up with the demands of these people that you have hired. You cannot continue to pay them, either because of greed or because you think that their job has been done, that they need to relax and go back to their former businesses. It is impossible. The Igbos will always say in their wisdom, "No, they go committed." The amount of money you have paid them from the beginning of time has corrupted their minds and their hearts, and it will become hard for them to go back to what they were doing before. They will rather remain as bandit and as criminal and die doing that same job. That is the problem. So that could have been the situation, that today the criminality has so expanded that it has become uncontrollable. Not only now in the northern part of Nigeria, but also in the southeastern part of Nigeria, almost in the all part of Nigeria, in Abuja, in the southwest, in the south, there is criminality everywhere. So in my own opinion, since APC government promised that they were going to solve the issue of insecurity, which Tinubu marketed Buhari far back in 2015, that a general was coming to quench criminality, to quench Boko Haram, quench terrorism in 6 months. Till 2025, how many years later, we are still talking about insecurity in Nigeria. Time is up for APC government to go. Let an independent people from different political party, people at least who can vouch on their track records, to come in and give us a new strategy in dealing with insecurity in Nigeria. That is my candid opinion. And I believe by the year 2027 that if Nigerian youth understands this, that people should come out in their number to garner their vote for P2B, because at this material time, P2B remains the only viable candidate that can be trusted, with fighting insecurity while rebuilding the economy of Nigeria. At this point, I'll allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. My another person, Siam. God bless you.